In the heart of the Whispering Woods, where sunlight dappled through ancient trees, lived a young deer named Ilara. Unlike the other fawns who frolicked in the morning mist, Ilara was born with a cautious heart. From her very first steps, she felt the world was a place of hidden dangers. Her mother, wise and gentle, would tell her stories of the sunlit paths, where deer had grazed 4 generations. But Ilara saw the shadows even in the brightest day. She noticed how the snap of a twig made everyone freeze, how the scent of a distant predator sent ripples of fear through the herd. To her, the daylight was not a blanket of warmth, but a spotlight, exposing them to the unseen eyes of hunters. One afternoon, a great mountain lion, silent as a falling leaf, stalked the edges of their meadow. The herd scattered in a panic. Ilara, small and terrified, scrambled into a thicket of thorns, her heart pounding against her ribs like a drum. She watched, frozen, as the predator moved with terrifying grace. That day, she made a promise to herself. She would never be caught in the open sun again. The daylight was a trap, and she would learn to escape it. The other deer called her strange. "Why do you hide from the sun, Ilara?" they'd ask. "The night is for shadows and unknown things." But Ilara's fear had hardened into resolve. As twilight painted the sky in shades of purple and orange, Ilara would emerge. While the others settled down to rest, her true day was just beginning. At first, it was terrifying. The woods transformed into a labyrinth of black shapes and eerie sounds. Every hoot of an owl made her jump. Every rustle in the undergrowth sent a shiver down her spine. But she forced herself to keep going. She learned that her eyes, given time, could adjust to the silver glow of the moon. She started to map the forest, not by sight, but by sound and scent. She learned the cricket's evening song, the feel of the cool night breeze against her fur, and the distinct smell of damp earth after a nocturnal rain. Slowly, her fear turned into fascination. The night was not empty. It was alive with a different kind of magic. She discovered patches of moon-dusted clover that were sweeter than anything she'd ever tasted in the day. She found springs of water so clear and cold, they seemed to hold the stars themselves. She met the other creatures of the night, a grumpy but wise old badger who showed her the best routes to dig, a family of raccoons who taught her which berries were safe, and a silent, watchful owl who became her unlikely guardian. The owl, whom she named Orion, would perch on a high branch, his golden eyes following her progress. He never spoke, but his presence was a comfort, a silent promise of safety. One night, as she was navigating a rocky ridge, she stumbled upon a hidden cave behind a waterfall. The sound of the cascading water masked the entrance completely. Inside, it was dry and safe, a perfect sanctuary. This became her daytime haven, a place where she could rest, completely hidden from the world. Her senses grew sharper than any other deer in the herd. She could hear the whisper of a fox's paws on dry leaves from 100 paces away. She could smell a coming storm hours before the first drop of rain fell. The night had become her teacher, and she was its most dedicated student. The older deer still worried. "This is not our way, Ilara," her mother would say gently before settling down for the night. "A deer belongs to the sun." But Ilara knew she had found her own path. She was stronger, faster, and more aware than she had ever been. She was no longer the timid fawn who trembled at every sound. She was a creature of the moon, a whisper in the darkness, a ghost of the forest. One year, a long, harsh winter was followed by a dry, scorching summer. The land grew brittle. Food and water became scarce. The deer herd grew thin and weak, forced to travel farther and farther during the dangerous daylight hours to find sustenance. The predators, equally desperate, grew bolder. The mountain lion, and now its growing cub, began to hunt with relentless frequency. The sunlit paths had become paths of sorrow. The herd was trapped in a cycle of fear and hunger. One evening, Ilara watched from the shadows as the exhausted herd returned to the meadow. They were defeated. Her mother looked gaunt, her gentle eyes filled with despair. That night, Orion the owl landed on a branch just above her. He looked down at her, then turned his head toward the suffering herd and gave a low, meaningful hoot. Ilara understood. Her unique skills were not just for her own survival anymore. They were a gift she had to share. Taking a deep breath, she stepped out of the shadows and approached the herd's leader, an old, weary stag named Si. The other deer gasped, startled to see her emerge so boldly from the darkness. "The day is killing us," Ilara said, her voice clear and steady. "But the night can save us. I know its secrets. I know where to find food and water, hidden from the eyes of those who hunt us. Follow me, and I will lead you to safety." The stag looked at her, his ancient eyes filled with doubt. "The night is full of unknown terrors," he rumbled. "It is not the way of the deer." A young buck snorted in derision. "She's a shadow dweller. Why should we listen to her?" But Ilara's mother stepped forward. "I have seen my daughter thrive where we have only suffered," she said, her voice trembling but firm. "Her way may be different, but her heart is strong. We have nothing left to lose." A murmur went through the herd. Desperation was a powerful motivator. Finally, Silas nodded slowly. "Lead the way, Nightwalker. Show us this world of yours." That night, for the first time, the entire herd moved under the cloak of darkness. Ilara led them with a confidence that astonished them all. She navigated them through silent ravines and forgotten trails she had mapped in her mind. She guided them to a hidden spring she had discovered, its water cool and plentiful. She showed them a valley filled with sweet, tender grasses that had been untouched, nestled deep within the forest where the sun rarely reached. It was difficult. At first, the fawns were frightened of the strange noises, and the older deer stumbled on the unfamiliar paths. But Ilara was patient. Orion the owl flew ahead, a silent scout warning them of any danger with a soft call. The herd learned to trust the sounds of the night, to see with more than just their eyes. They learned to walk in the moonlight, their hooves making barely a whisper on the soft earth. They discovered that the night was not a place of fear, but a world of quiet abundance. When the mountain lion and its cub came to the usual meadow to hunt, they found it empty. Night after night, they stalked the familiar clearings, only to find no trace of the deer. The herd, under Ilara's guidance, had vanished from the day. They moved like a flowing river of shadows, grazing in peace under the stars and resting in hidden, safe locations during the day. The herd grew strong again. The fawns, born into this new way of life, knew nothing of the daylight terrors their parents had faced. They were children of the moon. Just like Ilara, the once timid fawn, became their leader. She was not just the deer who moved at night. She was their protector, their guide, their beacon in the darkness. She taught them that courage isn't about being fearless, but about finding a new way to live when the old ways no longer serve you. And so, in the heart of the Whispering Woods, a legend was born. The legend of the Moondancer herd, and their brave leader Ilara, the deer who taught her kind to embrace the darkness and find their true strength within the shadows. Thanks for watching.